Hi, I'm Michelle Guiliano for Living the Feminine Future, and I'm so excited to get to bring to you Seetha Chinnappa-Sarwal. Seetha's coming to us today to talk about coaching and story share and mindfulness. And I'm so excited to have the chance to interview you. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Michelle, for this great opportunity on a beautiful day.
So first, your life. You're living between India and London and managing a whole host of projects between the two places. And you've just had the chance to work with us on a story share event. Can you tell us what you appreciated about that story share event?
Yes, I am living between countries and I am managing a bunch of projects. But one of the most important things I've done in recent years is, in fact, participate in the story share event. It's one of the most authentic things I have ever done in terms of my own self-discovery, because I have a great interest in mental health issues, and I think it's very, very important that people share their stories and are empowered to bring them to the world and share them with others so that other people can also participate. And we were able to achieve that last weekend, and I think I'm still recovering from how that went, and I think it went pretty well.
Recovery is a really important word in this case. There was structure to the story share event, and you were one of the facilitators, and there were 6 circles actually over the course of the period of time that we spent together. What did you appreciate about the structure?
What I appreciated about the structure was that it was a peer event, and as a peer event it meant that everybody was in that room not to solve a problem or to try and fix anybody's pain, but to share their own pain, and to share their own pain in a safe space. Really, that was what was so important about it.
And when you say that you have to recover now from that event, is that a failing on our part? Did we leave people hanging in some way?
I don't think that it was a failing, but I use the word recovery deliberately because it wasn't an event that was just something that took place and can be forgotten about. It has an ongoing impact for those of us who participated in that event, and for those of us who are going to hear those stories and stories like that going forward, because it gave us all a lot of issues to reflect on, and also the whole idea of communities and how communities come together to support each other around difficult issues in our personal lives. I think we don't talk about these things enough. And
so to put it into context, this was a depression story share event, and there were topics and circles established, so people knew what they were signing up for. It wasn't willy-nilly. We did know for sure we would discuss suicide. We knew we'd talk about teens and anxiety and stress in our lives. And I think the involvement and the structure really matters to holding space for people who are there. What do you think are the key takeaways that people got out of, or that people get out of peer sharing events?
I think one of the key takeaways is that when you have a sharp stone and you hold it in your hand, it can only cause you pain if you continue to cling to it. And you cling to, the harder you cling, the more pain there is. So that story share event for me was the open hand. The open hand of community coming together and people saying it is okay to talk about your pain, it is okay to share your pain, and it is okay to listen to the pain of others. And that was what was important to me.
It was really key about listening, and it was really, really important that people felt that they were no longer alone and isolated, that there was community, and that the circle itself could hold space with some of our hardest, most lonely and scary topics that we ever face in our lives. Mindfulness. How was mindfulness present this last Sunday?
So mindfulness is a journey that I've been on now for about 5 years. And last Sunday, it manifested itself in my ability to just be present as a facilitator, truly present, and give space to everybody else as they shared their stories. It was a deep privilege to do that. And it wasn't necessarily something that came easily to me, but it was something that I value very, very much. And I appreciate the idea that you can take a pause, that you can respond rather than react. And these are all the sort of basic tenets of mindfulness that we were able to bring to the Story Share event.
There really was breath and there was space.
Yes.
And I think with breath and with space, especially as people are opening, it's precious and it's special.
Yes, it is.
But you also have a background in program design and program management and even funding for major events in your past corporate life. Why should something like this have traction or legs? What could a corporation or an organization gain in your imagination and in your experience from contributing CSR or D&I funds, diversity and inclusion, or corporate social responsibility funds to such an event for their teams or for their communities and staff or partnerships? How could it work?
I think that there isn't necessarily enough space given to the idea of nuance. And what I mean by nuance is the idea of, what's happening between the cracks? What's happening above and beyond ticking the boxes? And that's why these things are important. How do you explore the nuance? How do you get underneath the mainstream narrative to the things that are really important? That's what's important to me.
Do you believe that corporations truly care for their people? Because if that is the belief structure, then getting to the nuance for sure helps us bring our whole selves, our fully human, fully feeling, fully experiencing of this life self to work.
And I think that if corporations truly believe that their people are their greatest assets, they would be failing themselves if they didn't explore this level of nuance and this level of authenticity around who their people really are.
I can't thank you enough, Seetha, for sitting with us today and for your involvement last week. I do look forward to our next collaboration. On behalf of Living the Feminine Future and a new feminine way to lead, I dare you to risk open, peer-sharing, flat organizational structures on your teams, and I'm so grateful for your coaching and for your time.
Thank you, Michelle. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.